there are a couple of ways to determine the beginning and end points of where this is going to play. So we have this clip, hasn't been altered yet. The event and the clip are the same thing. And what we really want to do is just choose a section of this to show. And so you've already seen a little bit of this, but let's go ahead and just scrub through, get an idea what's going on. A score was made, the ball goes in the net, then there's a little celebration, and let's just end it right there. We're going to make that the out point. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. One is to just click on that point and hit the S key, and notice that automatically the point afterwards is selected. I'm going to hit delete, and off it goes. And look, now we see the cat because he was lying on a track underneath, which will get us to a topic I'm going to touch on in just a minute or two about layering and how we're seeing everything from the top down. But for now, let's just focus on the lacrosse clip here. So let's undo. I'm going to undo again, so the split is gone. We're back to where we were. And let's say we want to end it at this point again. This time I'm going to do it by trimming. And we can do that by hovering over the edge. Let me just move this toward the center here. Take your mouse cursor and hover it over the edge of the clip. And this works for the beginning or the end. And you see that your arrow turns into a little box with an arrow going either direction, left and right. If you click and drag, you're trimming the clip. You're not moving anything, you're just taking off, being able to see that footage from that point. We're left with a little piece of audio. I'm going to hit ignore event grouping and just click there and delete that so it's not in the way here. And of course, trimming works both directions. I'm going to drag it out toward this way. And look what happens if I drag it too far. I've now gone past the edge of the original clip and it's jumped to the beginning. So by default, all the events will loop over again if you trim them past the natural ending or beginning points. And if you look very carefully, you'll see a little notch that happens along the top edge of the event. That's letting you know that you've created a loop right there. And so you want to be careful of those. The edge will snap to that notch point. And let's just do the same thing at the beginning. I'm going to hover until I see the trim tool and then drag to the right. I have ignore event grouping on, and therefore the video is moving independently of the audio. So that may be a good thing. You may want to do it that way. That's called a split edit, where you have the audio and video starting at different times. If I were to have ignore event grouping turned off, which is default, and I trim, the audio would follow along with the video and vice versa. Now notice the advantage here of having this track expanded. You can actually see what's happening to the video right looking at the event on the timeline. It's like having a little mini preview window going on there. If we want to get really precise with trimming, we can actually do that with the keyboard as well. So I'm going to pop the keyboard up here, and we have the numeric keypad as well. I'm going to hit the 7 key, and you'll see in a very subtle way you have a red line appear at the end point of the event. If I hit 9, it's going to jump to the end point. 7 and 9 will jump to the nearest in or out point. Notice here that we've inadvertently jumped to this other event here. I'm going to just start off by clicking near the end point, hit 7, and now hitting 1 and 3 will move it forwards and backwards. So 3 moves it to the right. This is every time you click, it's a frame. 1 moves it to the left by a frame. So you can get very precise down to the frame about how you're trimming that event. And to go out of trim mode, you just need to start another operation, or you can hit 5 on a numeric keypad.